Snack-sized business.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Snack-sized Business, where we get to showcase and highlight and amplify the work of women in business, women entrepreneurs, and women who are driving industry in some positive, impactful way. So on the Zoom today, I get to introduce you to Amy Roepke. Now, I think Amy is one of the first attorneys we've had on the show, so that's pretty exciting. For me anyways, I hope for you as well. So let me give you Amy's 5 facts. So she recently moved from Denver to a 300-acre family farm. Big transitions. She says she loves to paddleboard and hopes to teach her dog, who's currently unafraid of water, to join in. So I definitely need to know what kind of dog she has there. She's lived in Southern California during the 80s and grew up watching the Disneyland fireworks from her window. That's pretty amazing. She says her first concert was New Kids on the Block. Dun, 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 dun. All right, and then her fifth fact was, up until about 5 years ago, she had read every single Stephen King novel he's ever written, and she says she would love to meet him one day. So that's definitely something we have in common. I think I've read every single thing he's written up to date, so we'll chat about that. Anyway, let me welcome Amy Roepke to the Zoom. Hello and welcome to Snack-sized Business, Amy Roepke. I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you for joining us.
I'm so excited to be here today. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So before I jump into the 3 questions, I would love to dive just a little bit deeper on your 5 facts. You have some interesting things there.
I do.
So I know that you just moved, right? That you were building your house on all that land, right? So you just moved. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's been a journey.
You're welcome. Oh, I can imagine. And you love to paddleboard. So I want to talk about your dog. What kind of dog is it? Tell me it's not a Labrador or a Golden Retriever or a water dog.
It's totally a water dog, but he hates water. I don't get it.
What kind of dog is he?
He's a lab.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he's a black lab. I mean, he's mixed. Of course, he's a rescue, but there's more lab than anything else in there, except for the water part.
That's hysterical. What do you know? Breeds are one thing, but no arrow is utterly straight. So there you go. All right.
Hey, that's a good point.
Let me jump into our 3 questions. The first of our 3 questions. Okay. What conversation do you wish that you'd had but did not?
Yeah, I think that the conversation that I wish that I had is similar to the conversation that I heard but didn't listen to, maybe, which was this is owning a business, running a business. Like you're choosing a hard path, and Elby, just like you just said that no arrow is perfectly straight, or I forget how you phrased it, but we'll just go with that, right? So I definitely have done the bent and zigzaggy arrow throughout my entire life, and I think that is the conversation I wish I'd had, which was you're not going to go in a straight line from A to B. And you're going to have challenges, and they're going to test your will and your resolve and make you wish you had chosen a different path. But in the end, it's all going to be worth it. So just have faith.
Right. Well, that's a good conversation. Well, you're having the conversation now. So there you go. It's never too late, right?
It's true. That's true.
Okay. Question number 2. What do you love about what you're doing right now?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I get the chance to work both in my business and on my business, which is not something that a lot of entrepreneurs can say they get to do. A lot of business owners just work in the business. Yeah, you know what I mean, right? Day in and day out. And in fact, the business works them. And I've had some really great staff and other attorneys who work for me and people who've allowed me to free up some of my time to work on the business as well as in the business. And I love that because every day is something different. Sometimes I'm working on finance and budget, and you'll see a little eye roll from me, like with the budget. It's one of the hardest things for me to wrap my head around, but I'm working on it, right? And I'm making progress and I'm feeling proud about that. And then other days I'm working with my clients and helping them make progress in their businesses and feeling great about that. So long answer to the short question, I think, is that's what I'm loving about what I'm doing right now in my business.
So what is the area of focus of your practice?
So I do all business work, no litigation whatsoever. And my clients call me when they need corporate help. So any type of help with employees and contracts and all of those things. And then my main focus is mergers and acquisitions for my clients. So helping them buy businesses, sell businesses, bring in partners, send partners away, those types of things.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I recently heard a conversation, or I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was a situation where a person was unhappy with their partner, and it can get very acrimonious. It's like a divorce, you have to divide. Well, you have to divide up, and you have to take stands, and it can be really painful.
It's true. And, one of the things that I pride myself on is trying to help my clients avoid litigation. Because once you turn over to filing a lawsuit, you put your future essentially in the hands of the court or a jury or judge, however it works out. And the lawyers are the ones who are really in charge of driving things forward. I like to empower my clients as much as possible to solve their issues before it gets to that point. Of course, if it gets to that point, I send them out to some of my trusted partners, since like I said, I don't do any litigation.
Gotcha. Interesting. And, I would imagine too, another component of that is, when you turn it over to the courts, you're making yourself naked for an audience that you didn't want to be in front of, perhaps.
That's actually really true. And naked is a good way to put it. I think that my clients who have been involved in litigation or have been sued, it's not a comfortable feeling at all. Getting served with papers, even if it's a small dispute, you suddenly feel very exposed, and you feel like things might be at risk that you didn't realize would be at risk, and you're hearing from lawyers, and so I definitely keep my nose to the ground if there is a lawsuit going on or pending. I'm helping the outside counsel kind of navigate the issues with my clients, since I'm usually the one in a position to best know what's happened and how it unfolded.
Sure.
But I try to take some of that naked feeling away and help them feel a protective cover, if nothing else.
Give them clothes. You give them comfort.
I give them clothes. Yeah. Sometimes they're thin clothes. Sometimes they're thick clothes. Yeah.
All right. So I have to ask you, let's talk about Stephen King. Okay.
Okay.
Because up until about 5 years ago, you had read everything he had written. So what happened 5 years ago? Did he write something you were like, well, this is shit, I'm not paying attention to you anymore? Or did it just go away?
Good question. Well, okay. So Stephen King fans will know, if anybody who's a Stephen King fan will know, that pre-accident Stephen King and post-accident Stephen King is very different. Like, his writing is very different, right?
Yes.
So let's just start with that. And he didn't write anything that I became a non-fan for. I would say probably 5 years ago is about the time my business really took off. And I teach at the DU Law, University of Denver as well, just part-time as an adjunct, but doing teaching and being a mom and running a business and being a wife and like all of the things that just came into my life at that point. Sort of took reading off the table, and I'm actually now working my way back through and reading some of the books I haven't read and enjoying them. But like I said,
for sure, there's definitely
Yeah, but like I said, pre-accident Stephen King is like classic rock, right? It's like you can listen to that like any day of the week. Post-accident Stephen King is like classic pop. You're just in the mood for it, but it's still Stephen King.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I would add on and say classic pop maybe, but with a more spiritual undertone. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I can get on board with that.
Have you read his nonfiction book on writing?
No, it's on my list.
Yeah, put it to the top because it's probably one of the best books. If you write anything, and as an attorney, I'm sure you do, but one of the best books about writing that I've ever read. So,
oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, I will. I'll put it to the top. I love it.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, here's our third and final question.
Okay.
What communication advice do you live by?
Communication is one of my biggest values. I want to make sure that I am communicating with my clients. If nothing else, if I don't communicate with my husband, right, I'm communicating with my clients. Nothing against my husband, he's great, but so
yeah.
I try to know what the other person's communication style and preferences and honor that. Right. So we have huge generational differences in the workplace right now. And some people prefer to text, some people prefer to email, some people prefer to call. And that's like 3 different generations just right there of people.
Yeah, you're right about it.
Right. So I learn about my clients' communication style and figure out what works best for them and go with it. And same thing with the Zoom versus in person. There are clients that I have never met face to face, never shook their hand, right? But we have great relationship. We just always meet on Zoom. Other clients, we always meet face to face. So the communication advice I live by is knowing the style of the other person. It fits within what I'm able to do and what I'm able to provide as a service provider. So I provide that service to them. And it enhances, I think, their satisfaction with what they're getting.
And their comfort, right? It's another
comfort.
Clothing.
Exactly.
There you go. Well, that's our 3 questions. Amy, thank you so much for joining us. I really enjoyed your answers and spending time with you. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, I love this. I love what you're doing with the snack size business.
Before I let you go, why don't you tell our audience how they can connect with you, where they can find you?
Yeah, absolutely. So yourmilestonematters.com, we're Milestone Law Group. So to us, your milestone matters. What that means.
I thought you were talking to me. I was like, thank you.
What that means to you, the listener, is that you can come to our site, learn more about what we do. And if you are a business, we're licensed in 3 states, Iowa, Washington, and Colorado. So if you're a business in one of those 3 states, or you want to talk about other issues that we might be able to help you with, like trademarks or privacy compliance issues. There's a lot of things going on out there right now with privacy. Yeah. We're happy to help. If we can't help, we will refer you to somebody in our network that we know and trust so that you will feel like you're in great hands. So again, it's yourmilestonematters.com, and you can feel free to send me an email because I prefer email communication. And so it's amy@yourmilestonematters.com, and I'd love to hear from you.
Well, that's terrific. Thank you again. And I so appreciate your joining us for the show.
Thanks, Ellie.
Snack size